Hey everybody, shout out to the Soque River Modelers who more or less sponsor this video. We are at part 4 of the Trumpeter 16th scale King Tiger build, and it is to my friends in the modeling group that I dedicate and thank for this model. And here we go. Yes, it's a snow tiger. I wanted a white tank. I wanted an aged, dirty, dinged, beat up, battle-worn, battle-weary, dirty tank. Now, it doesn't have mud and it doesn't have snow on it for a variety of reasons. Primarily because on my display where I'm going to put this with a Panther and a Tiger I that are in scale with this, you can see those tanks quite well. They're not muddied up, they're not dirtied with details. So I said, well, how can I give this one some character but still not overdo the dirt and mud? And that's what I did. I just decided not to do a lot of excess mud, but I did a lot of rust. And yeah, I've got me a little rusted bucket, rusty old chain hanging off. And by the way, that ring that chain's hanging from there, they stick this rod right here. They unclip that and stick this in through that hole right there, the hole that's on the end of that, and crank the tank with it. That's how they start the tank. So I've learned so much watching the videos. I want to shout out to the Tank Museum in England. Those guys rule. They're awesome. The Aussie Museum, where you guys do all these little bit by bit remakes and recoveries of tanks. You guys, all your mechanics rule. The Tank Encyclopedia, the guy that gets on there and spends so much time just all this information about all these tanks. These guys just rule. I've learned so much from watching their videos. There's nameless builders. There's just countless builders. I'm going to show you something. I know I haven't shown you the top of the turret yet, but let me show you something kind of cool here. Obviously, you've seen the interior already. You guys are familiar. Well, I do have panels that remove, and you can see portions of the interior. And it's like, yeah, it's got the primer on the inside, you know, and I do that. Yes, I've got an engine compartment. Let's turn the turret all the way. I'm pretty proud of my engine compartment. Look at that. There's the engine. Yes. And the gas tanks and other parts there. I got some of my paint ideas from watching videos about Tiger engines, and there's the same exact engine, the Maybach engine, is in the Panther tank. And there's a great video, I think it's the Aussie guys, and I've got some of the color ideas from looking at their tank. Another one, now this one is harder to lift off because I've got the antenna. It's mounted right there on that. So now we're going to let's look at this turret. Let's look at the turret. And yes, the turret lifts off and you can see the basket and you can see all that's interior. I spent a great deal of time. Let me introduce you to the commander. He's finally in charge. Yeah, he's large and in charge, and he's got one heck of a machine gun rig. He's got my friend Greg from the Artfull Barn in Clarksville. Great buddy of mine. I love Greg. I love all my Artfull Barn, Soque River Modeler buddies. They give me so much help and support. Greg made that dual machine gun mount. And I love the little spider sight at the top. It's just, in case you guys wonder, a lot of these tanks had the machine guns mounted up there for anti-aircraft. You know, the planes would fly over and bomb these things. So they wanted some way to defend themselves from the planes. I made him a little map. Forgive the little swastika on there, but hey, he's a Nazi. I just took liberties with a map. He's got a map of the Ardennes, by the way. And he's, you know, looking for his route to go into the woods of the Ardennes. The number 422, I took liberties with the numbers on these. When you see the video of my Porsche turret, so-called the pre-production turret, it's a 100. I just had the numbers 100. This one was 224, but I said, no, let's do a higher number. Let's do something like later in the war. I don't know if that's legitimate for anything. I just gave it a higher number and went from there. We'll keep that turned so that we can look at this area. Of course, this all works. You know, you guys, you saw the interior. It's hard to open. And it always has been. These guys are a little bit tricky. There we go. That one opens. See, it's designed, the tank's got all these cutaways so all these hatches work, no matter what they do. And of course, there's full interior in there. You know, I'm happy with my interior. You guys have seen the interior in the earlier videos. I'm not going to break, but this whole panel comes off. And you can see the whole driving compartment. The machine gun, of course, works. I've got my, the machine gun in there. And in case you're wondering, there's a machine gun mounted, the nozzle, which is right here, and it's connected to the barrel. Now, for the sake of transport and ease of care, I don't have the barrel attached to the. Yeah, it's not attached, so I can't just grab it and lift it off. It would recoil. There's a coil built in it, and the gun would recoil with that spring. And let's see what else. Of course, I've got they're all loose, my pieces of extra track that serve as support armor for the tank. And of course, extra track for this. Now I want to look at my lower decks for a bit. Yeah, I like dirtying the heck out of the mud guards and the, look at all that. There's dings, dents. There's something on the other side we'll look at real quick. I've got one that, like, hey, one mud guard got knocked off and they found an old rusty one, so they just hung it on there, And again, I've got my muddy, beat up, rusted mud guards on there, exhaust pipes, I had so much fun detailing this. I mean, I went crazy, I admit. The dings, the running rust. This one has, I'm going to make a point in the other video to show the thickness of this hatch. Now this is, as the interior, has the hatch controller there that actually helps with the weight of that hatch. It's a very heavy piece of metal. And the same with this one, which is a much thicker, heavier, larger hatch. And it's got the white interior. The turret, since it does have an interior, and I don't think you can see much in there. Not now. You go to the last video, go to volume 3 to see the interior of that. And I know, why build all that and enclose it? Well, because I can. Because I wanted to. I want to see this part. I got the model to see the exterior. I want to see a King Tiger tank. I want to see my Tiger. I'm going to show you one other thing. Check this out. I spent some time on this. Yeah, you've got some shots there. Some anti-tank guys probably on the ground firing. Boom, 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 boom. Now, there's not a glance here, which I probably could have done or should have done. I just didn't. I didn't want to mess the turret up. But I did have some fun putting those the little battle damage in there. So that's just a little indulgent fun. But that's the Tiger, man. I mean, I finally got the dadgum thing done. I mean, look at it. It's huge. This is more than 2 months of building 1,500 pieces. The box, I would open it on a bed in the other room and take the sprues, the trees, big square sprues, and get the parts I needed and go back into the other room and build. Then go back. I was going back and forth, back and forth. It finally got where it was easier and easier, and I started taking sprues into the room where I was building because there wasn't much left. But it took a long time. Long time. But I hope you like the life I brought to it. The commander, I did repaint his face. I did a little bit of detail. Added an antenna. It's got an antenna. Very proud of this. Very proud of this. This is the most in-depth, complex build of a model I've ever executed. Ever. I don't know that I ever want to do it again. It's really a lot of work. It was severe. Every panel is painted. The inside of This panel is painted. The insides of these panels are painted. The bottom, which you can't even see, is painted. I mean, the areas up underneath there and the wheel wells are painted, dirtied, scratched, scored, weathered. And by the way, one of the best things to use on this is pigment powder. Take a brush and brush some pigment powder on, wipe it back off, spray it. Look at what it did for the wheels. They look like at least they're dirty and somewhat rusty. And you do irregular things. You don't do rust in the same patterns. This thing looks like it's been run into hedges and, hit. This is, who knows. I had a lot of fun. So, on to part 5, which will show the so-called Porsche turret. Let's call it the pre-production turret. This is the production turret. This is my regular Tiger. This is a King Tiger. In case you wonder what they look like, this is a King Tiger. My favorite tank of World War II. My favorite design of any tank ever in the history of tanks. And I finally have a worthy model of my interest and enthusiasm for this vehicle of destruction. Again, please make note, and you probably did, of my disclaimer. I do in no way, side with or favor with the Nazis, and I never will. But boy, they made good equipment. Even if it was over-technical and over-designed and over-engineered, look at it. From things like this, we got the Imperial Walker, just in sheer style. That's it for today, kids. Tune back in, look at that other turret, and it's a shorter video, a little simpler. And I thank you all. Thank you, Soque River Modelers. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, all you viewers. You guys have been awesome support. Awesome. Thank you so much for looking at my videos, especially the last, I think, chapter 3 of this build. I hope you enjoy this one and the next one. And y'all take care. I will see you shortly.